This is Camnet News. Thank you so much for inviting us in your homes or wherever you're watching us from. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. The top stories on our desk: the Zambia Bureau of Standards maintains HONEYBEE condoms and gloves with substandard. 2 of HAKAINDE HICHILEMA'S aides transferred to MANSA for possible court appearance. DPP urged to quicken investigations on a report involving the killing of the 2 citizens. In international news, Workers' Union in South Africa vowed to keep an eye on the COVID-19 vaccines rollout. And in sports news, LUSAKA DYNAMOS beat Green Eagles by 2-1. Join me shortly for the details.
2021 is finally here. Zambia is at the crossroads heading towards general elections this August. In the world where fake news, biased reporting on national issues has become the order of the day, in a world where social media in most cases spills lies and exaggerated information, insightful coverage, Zambia needs one media. Living in a country where people are slowly promoting tribalism, hatred, bitterness and revenge, political temperature is heating up and people's hearts are perplexed. Zambia needs one media. Zambia being a Christian nation living under the lordship of Jesus Christ, the nation cannot afford a compromised gospel. Zambia needs a prophetic media house. For hope, peace and unity, Zambia needs Camnet television. For non-biased, factual reporting, balanced opinion, accurate news coverage, Zambia needs Camnet television. For national projects and development of our beloved country Zambia, watch Camnet TV on channel 274 DSTV, channel 98 on Go TV and channel 106 on Topstar. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. The Zambia Bureau of Standards has scientifically dispelled claims that it conducted laboratory tests on 1 condom and glove on the batch supplied by HONEYBEE. Last month, Kabwe Central Member of Parliament Tutu Angulube, who is also a legal counsel representing HONEYBEE, alleged that the Zambia Bureau of Standards did not properly test HONEYBEE supplied condoms and gloves, arguing that a test done on one item cannot be used to determine or as defective. But ZABS Executive Director Manuel Mutale says Zambians should not doubt the credibility of the test reports produced by its condoms laboratory, as it is in conformity with acceptable practices. Mr. Mutale says ZABS has for 7 years been scoring 100% with regards to efficiency. Details on this.
It was a simple but tough question. Who authorized the distribution of substandard medical kits? Posed by Parliamentary Accounts Committee Chairperson Howard Kunda. The question was addressed to Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Administration Kakulubelwa Mulalelo and Medical Stores Limited Managing Director Chikuta Mbewe.
Who authorized the distribution? I think it is a very simple question. Okay. I'm sure you were contacted as the head of this institution that please start distributing. Who is that?
The two have since joined former Health Minister Dr. Chitalu Chilufya among the people who have lost their jobs following the recent revelations that substandard medical kits, including leaking condoms, were distributed to health facilities starting from September last year. Zooming on the issue of condoms, last month, PF Kabwe Central Member of Parliament Tutu Angulube alleged that the Zambia Bureau of Standards did not properly test HONEYBEE supplied condoms and gloves, arguing that you cannot test one and conclude that everything else is defective. But going by the scientifically proven procedure, that was not a correct position, as journalists were made to appreciate various processes condoms are subjected to before being approved for use during a media familiarization tour. ZABS Executive Director Manuel Mutale says ZABS laboratories participate in what is called proficiency testing schemes. This is where data produced by a laboratory is compared with other similar laboratories, and over the past 7 years, ZABS has been scoring 100%.
They want to say before any batch is declared either fit or non-fit, not the minimum of 700 pieces will have to be subjected to test in line with the standard. The other part that I wanted to comment on is the PT scheme. You know, the SHI there, is an American organization. So they run this proficiency testing scheme. And they've been running it, I think, for quite some time. And worldwide, there are over 100 labs and groups participating in this scheme.
Mr. Mutale adds that the Bureau wants to enhance interactions with the media in view of making the public become more informed on matters of standardization.
We are a technical institution driven by science, and we want to discuss science. So if you see a bit of hesitation in responding to some of the issues, because we find them, in the category where really they are not answering to our standard as a scientific institution. So we open, I think, not only when we call you, you can also be able to step into the Zambia Bureau of Standards and be able to clarify some technical issue, like one of your colleagues said, because we want, through you, to disseminate information to the general public. Once we've got informed general public, then they'll be able to put up substandard products, from the market.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
The Zambia Revenue Authority has signed a contract with the Copperbelt University for the co-development of 3 systems worth 90 million kwacha. Speaking during the signing ceremony, ZRA Commissioner General Kingsley Chanda says the signing of the contract signifies the commencement of the development of a customs management system that will replace their Skoda Wild system. He says the system, which will fully be launched on the 1st of June, and Copperbelt University Vice Chancellor Naison Ngoma says CBU is proud to be part of this Zambian-born solution. It is not a secret that there are multiple benefits of paying tax on either sides. While this is true, many give various excuses as to why they fail to pay. Bearing this in mind, the tax authority has been working round the clock to ease the transactions between them and the clients. The authority adopted the automated system for customs data as SCODA as part of its digital transformation agenda in the tax system. As SCODA is a system designed by the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development to administer a country's customs. As SCODA, which covers most foreign trade procedures, is used by over 90 countries worldwide and Zambia inclusive. But with the advancement of technology each passing day, the Zambia Revenue Authority has seen it fit to develop another platform that will serve both the client and the authority better. In this regard, ZRA has signed a contract with the Copperbelt University to co-develop the customs management, border management and integrated payment systems to replace Askuda at a cost of 90 million kwacha. Kingsley Chanda is ZRA Commissioner General.
To replace Askuda World system. The system to be fully integrated with the tax online system will launch on 1st June 2021 this year. In this endeavor, we'll build on the successes of and lessons learned from the implementation of the tax online system. This implementation will, among other things, ensure that the authority has a 360-degree view of the taxpayer. In other words, since the domestic taxes and customs will now be integrated, it will mean we shall be able to view tax information of the taxpayer on one platform. It will leverage on new developments in technology and therefore help provide better services to the taxpayer. The new system is coming with a fully fledged border management module, which will help the authority effectively manage the operations of border entry points and enhance trade facilitation of our taxpayers. For the first time in the history of our institution, taxpayers will be able to pay for their tax obligations using bank cards, and this will be in addition to the already existing option of making tax payments through net banking and mobile money payment systems. Digital transformation is vital for survival of businesses all across the world.
And Copperbelt University Vice Chancellor Professor Naison Ngoma says it is the university's desire to see that knowledge imparted in the learners is fully applied for various innovations, such as the one being developed.
Copperbelt University, ladies and gentlemen, recognizes that the benefits of learning must indeed go beyond qualifications papers, and theorization. Industrialization facilitates the crystallization of academic knowledge into tangible benefits, thereby leading the CBU's Education 5.0, teaching, research, innovation, and industrialization. This industrialization is not without strategic industry partners, and more so partners that put in their all to ensure the well-being of every citizen of our country. I wish to thank you, sir, and your rank and file for the unfailing trust in the city. The CBU shall always continue to seek to be one of your reliable partners.
The two institutional heads signed the contracts, among other witnesses. Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, LUSAKA. Still in business, Zamtel Chief Executive Officer Sydney Mpeta has implored local businessmen and women to partner with the state-owned telecommunications company by setting up Zamtel service centers across the country. Mr. Mpeta says the initiative is aimed at creating business and employment opportunities to citizens. And Mr. Mpeta says they have developed a service charter that will see consumer complaints being escalated to higher level in view of improving service delivery. He made the remarks when he opened a new service office at McKinney Mall in Lusaka Wednesday.
I've placed this shop and any other service center across the country a service charter that will ensure that all customer complaints are resolved speedily, and escalations will go as far as to the highest office in the Zamtel organization. So you should be assured that you address all your matters on time. The general public, I would like to inform you that Zamtel has initiated a process where we are creating partnerships with businessmen and women, local businessmen and women that are willing to partner with Zamtel to open service centers such as this one. If you are interested in partnering with Zamtel to open a service center such as the one we're opening here today at McKinney Mall, you can contact our manager responsible.
Gender Minister Elizabeth Perry has handed over a solar egg incubator to women cooperatives under the Agricultural Development through Value Chain Enhancement Project Advance in Kasempa District of North-Western Province. Ms. Perry reaffirmed the government's commitment to continue empowering women to realize their intended purposes. The Gender Minister was speaking when she handed over a solar energy incubator to the cooperatives held at Kenya Una School in Kasempa District. And acting Kasempa District Commissioner Tulani Muya commended government for considering Kasempa District with empowerment programs for women in the district. Meanwhile, beneficiaries have thanked government for its support. In other news, Zambia's ambassador to Brazil, Alfreda Kansembe Mwamba, has expressed delight with Agronelli's move to partner with Zambia in phosphate fertilizer production. Agronelli is one of Brazil's leading agriculture company, which was testing the Zambian soils sent to the country about a year ago. And Agronelli research supervisor Samilia Sosa observed that Zambia and Brazil have similar soil patterns, which makes the two countries have a greater opportunity to do business in the agriculture industry and expand it further. This, according to a statement issued to Camnet TV by First Secretary at the Zambian Mission in Brazil, Grace Makoane.
Brazil's leading agriculture company, Agronelli, has completed its analysis of Zambian soil and is ready to send suitable phosphate fertilizer to Zambia. The phosphate fertilizer from Brazil will enable Zambia to produce a drought-resistant bumper harvest. Zambia sent its soil samples over a year ago, and the Brazilian company is ready to send a team of experts to Zambia in order to meet stakeholders in the agricultural sector. Zambia's ambassador to Brazil, Dr. Frida Kansembe-Mumba, during a meeting held in Uberaba, Brazil, expressed delight with Agroneli's move to partner with Zambia in phosphate fertilizer production. Ambassador Kansembe-Mumba said they just about the fertilizer hub to visit Zambia and meet officials from the Ministry of Agriculture and other relevant institutions as a welcome move.
We have all that it takes to have proper agriculture in Zambia. We have land, we have water, we have manpower, we have everything. Yeah. We may not have equipment, of course we'll be looking to Brazil for that. Sure. And also the technology, we need your technology and also the equipment, the rest we have. The next step was for your company to come to Zambia, to come and look around and see how we can begin to establish this company.
And Agroneli's research supervisor, Samile Saus, observed that Zambia and Brazil have similar soil patterns, which makes the two countries have a greater opportunity to do business in the agricultural industry and expand it further.
Coleta perfeita, porque são pequenas observações que pode vir a acarretar numa coleta não característica perfeita. Isso.
Okay, that the Zambia's soil, it's very similar of the Brazil with the Brazil soil.
Meanwhile, Agroneli Company Director Renato Costa said the team of experts from the agro company are expected to visit Zambia in the second quarter of 2021. The Brazilian agro company has a huge market among Brazilian farmers, bringing in revenue of $50 million US per year from sales. Grace McConaughey reporting from Uberaba, Brazil.
Chief Justice Irene Mambilima has described the late Lady Justice Elizabeth Muyovwe as a gallant, fearless and hardworking officer of the law. Justice Mambilima says the judiciary is devastated by her death, which has left a huge space in the legal fraternity. The Chief Justice said this after signing a book of condolences at the Supreme Court grounds in Lusaka Wednesday. Meanwhile, Speaker of the National Assembly, Patrick Matibini, described the late as a hardworking and compassionate judge who will never be forgotten in the legal fraternity.
We pray that may whatever we write go in its own way to comfort the family and the judiciary. It's in the name of Jesus Christ that we pray. Amen.
Barely a month before she could retire from the legal fraternity, Lady Justice Elizabeth Muyovwe met her fate on Sunday morning at Mainasoko Military Hospital, where she was admitted. At the age of 64, the late had accomplished a lot and now described by many as a hard-working gallant. Chief Justice Irene Mambilima says the legal fraternity has been left with a great loss. Speaking after signing in the Book of Condolences, Chief Justice Mambilima says the judiciary is devastated by her death.
I always spoke about March because she was due to retire on 12th March. And barely a month before, this thing has happened. So for us really, we have lost a very dependable person, we have lost a very likable person, a person who interacted with everybody, who gave guidance to the new judges. So for us, it's a very big blow.
And Speaker of the National Assembly, Patrick Matibini, says she will never be forgotten in the legal fraternity.
I feel very sad. Very sad. We've lost that resourceful, very diligent, very compassionate, and very friendly human being.
Justice Minister Given Winda says government is saddened by the death of Judge Muyovwe.
She shall be missed by the many women who are now receiving support through the legal aid clinic for women. She shall be missed by all those people who knew her, all those who knew her as a person, and knew her as a very loving person. I personally knew her as a sister. I shall certainly miss her very, very deeply. All I can do now is, on behalf of His Excellency the President, who I was with until late last night, we were talking about Elizabeth, and on his behalf I want to register our heartfelt condolences to her family. We are aware of the fact that she has left behind an elderly mother. We wish her strength.
The late Lady Justice Muyovwe died on the 31st of January 2021 and was a judge of the Supreme Court. She was the daughter of the late Mainza Chona, who served one time as Zambia's vice president. In 1979, she graduated from the University of Zambia School of Law with a Bachelor of Laws and was admitted to Zambia Bar in 1981. She once worked for the Zambia Ministry of Legal Affairs as a state attorney and as an assistant senior legal aid counsel. After working as a High Court judge for many years, she was appointed as Justice of the Supreme Court judge on the 29th of October 2010. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Two United Party for National Development officials who were arrested and charged with 4 counts of theft, forgery, altering official documents and giving false information contrary to the laws of Zambia have been transferred to MANSA for possible court appearance. UPND Presidential Spokesperson Anton Walia and Special Assistant for Special Duties Movita Nawa, who were initially detained at Lusaka's Woodlands Police Station, left Lusaka Tuesday morning for MANSA, where the crime is said to have been committed. Police sources have indicated that the duo is expected to appear in court on Tuesday or Friday to answer to the 4 counts. Meanwhile, UPND Copperbelt Provincial Youth Information Publicity Secretary Lazarus Sichemba is disappointed that the duo was arrested for exposing irregularities in the issuance of national registration cards in 2020.
Anthony and Movita Nawa, Mr. Nawa, we are just simply showing their displeasure. They are just actually exposing the evil agenda of the PF in terms of trying to register foreigners, in trying to register at the underaged people. And it's very sad and it's very shocking that they can be arrested for showing such a responsibility to the Zambian people, especially showing to the people that what the PF is trying to do, in trying to manipulate the Zambians, in trying to actually register, which is actually very illegal. So what we are saying on the Copper Belt, that let them released unconditionally. This is what we are saying as youths on the Copper Belt, because this government is a joke. Why am I saying that this government is a joke? One, they failed to arrest JJ Banda when he went to actually to the police and actually beat up the police officers, and he was left actually he was left like, no, he's sick, he's what. They failed to arrest him. And then the other thing was the issue of the issue of the crime against humanity from Dr. Chitaluchi. He actually went further and supplied fake drugs to this country. So he's not being arrested. Today, Chitaluchi is actually walking very free. Now, the people that are trying to do the service to the people of Zambia, you arrested them.
A social scientist, Innocent Kolala, has called on the Director of Public Prosecution, Lillian Siyuni, to expedite the assessment of a full report on the shooting to death of a National Prosecution Authority officer, Samansama, and United Party for National Development, UPND member, Joseph Kaunda. Recently, it was revealed that President Edgar Lungu received a full report from the Zambia Police Service, which was handed over to the DPP for further consideration. Mr. Kolala has, to this effect, called for a serious evaluation of what firearm was used and the culprits who shot the 2 citizens be brought to book. He adds that politicians should not be used as sources of confusion and killing each other, adding that leaders must ensure that they follow the right procedure to ascend into office. Mr. Kolala was speaking to Camnet TV in an interview on Wednesday.
do not want to ensure that I think the investigation is not, of course, disrupted, but we are seeking and we are requesting, we are asking the Director of Public Prosecution, the DPP, to ensure that they accelerate, I think, this matter so that the people of this country should come to know who could have caused that. Because it's a very, very unfortunate. And politics, as I've already said, politics should not come to divide the country. Politics should not come to divide us. Politics should not be used as a caveat of confusion. Politics should not be used as something which now we should be saying, no, we start now throwing stones against each other. That we have said no, as a people of the Republic of Zambia. That's the reason why we have enshrined in the Constitution how best we are supposed to obtain certain offices. For example, if you want to ascend to any political office, it is provided for in the Constitution. What is supposed to be done is they have to wait for 5 years, those who have to wait, and those who are in the office also, they need to ensure that they make sure that that 5 years mandate passes, then they come to us as the electorate if you are told to renew their mandate or to bring new people through a ballot. And you are saying through a ballot and not a barrel and not a bullet. That we have said no as the people of this country.
You're watching Camnet News. Just now we'll take a break. Stay tuned for more interesting stories.
To create a positive difference in people's lives, one must first understand the way people live. At Savenda, we're here for our community, our partners, and our future, as a nation and as a continent.
Back in 1997, we decided we were going to create this family journey into a bigger opportunity, and created a business called Savenda, which meant save nations to develop Africa.
It's always important to give back to the people. The government cannot do everything, but as business entities, we'll be able to reach a lot of people.
From our humble beginnings in the telecoms and mining sectors to our work in energy and development projects, we know how important it is to be true to our roots.
Our services have to be diversified so that we don't depend on one income stream. Back in the village, I was growing up hunting and doing everything that a village boy would like to do. When you're hunting, you don't depend on one trap, for example. You have to have many traps. So those survival skills brought into the business created opportunities that we learned from a young age that you can't survive with just one product. Savenda Group involves Savenda Management, which is a consulting, Savenda Express, which is a corporate branding company, Savenda Electric, which is a manufacturer of energy-saving bulbs, Savenda General Insurance, which is a general insurance company, Savenda Fresh Produce, Cyber Africa, which is a center for just dealing with cyber security.
Now, Savenda is combining local knowledge with international expertise. It's time to be a part of Zambia's rising success and Africa's exciting future.
We are a gateway into Africa, and now we are praying with global companies who are coming to Zambia for opportunities and to look for companies that are homegrown, and we are proud to be one of those.
And why do you look so pale and busy scratching yourself?
Well, Amwandi, you know my skin is very sensitive. I've tried all the skin products and nothing seems to work.
Have you tried Oracle Pure Glycerin?
Oracle Pure Glycerin? What's that?
Just give me a minute.
Oracle Pure Glycerin gives your skin a youthful and healthy glow.
Ish, you're glowing. Don't tell me. Yes! I already know the secrets. Oracle Pure Glycerin!
Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for that perfect skin.
Hello, have you
you heard about MANSA? Do you know that you can advertise for as low as 150 kwacha for 30 seconds? Well, MANSA is here. Advertise on MANSA between 17 hours and 18 hours. Just tell us about the services that you offer and we'll gladly put you on the market. For more details, you can contact
+260 953 995099 +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467.
MANSA, allowing your business to grow.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying on. The Advocates for National Development and Democracy Executive Director Samuel Banda has commended President Edgar Lungu for making reshuffles on permanent secretary level, especially at the Ministry of Health. Mr. Banda says the decision by the head of state demonstrates his commitment to fighting corruption, enhancement of public service delivery, and restoring people's confidence in public health care systems. Former Minister of Health, Permanent Secretary Kakulubelwa Mulalelo was yesterday officially relieved of her position due to irregularities recorded by the ministry under her watch. Meanwhile, Mr. Banda has congratulated the new Minister of Health Permanent Secretary Emmanuel Ngulube, urging him to work hard in restoring public confidence in the health system.
I would like to commend President Edgar Lungu for listening to the cause of the Zambian people to terminate the contract of former Permanent Secretary for Ministry of Health, Ms. Kakulubelwa. Indeed, this demonstrates his commitment to fight corruption, enhance public service delivery, and restore people's confidence in our health care systems. Would also like to congratulate the new Permanent Secretary for Ministry of Health, Mr. Emmanuel Ngulube, and we encourage him to ensure to work extremely hard with high level of integrity, honest commitment. As you are aware, Ministry of Health is a very sensitive ministry which runs the healthcare systems of our country. They say a healthy nation, a healthy people is a health nation. Would also like to commend the government of His Excellency Dr. Edgar Lungu for displaying leadership in these high times of COVID-19. We have observed that the government has managed to keep the economy running despite the challenges brought on by COVID-19. As an organization that advocates for good governance, development, a good democracy, we are happy with the efforts that the government is putting to ensure that the economy keeps running.
In a related development, Transparency International Zambia has held the dismissal of Ms. Kakulubelwa Mulalelo, Permanent Secretary Administration at the Ministry of Health, given what it terms as the anomalies that took place under her watch. TIZ Executive Director Maurice Nyambe, however, believes that the problems at the ministry go beyond individuals and systematic in nature. He is optimistic that the PS dismissal, which follows the dismissal of Minister of Health a few weeks ago, is a comprehensive response to addressing the wider systemic issues that are prevailing at the ministry.
As I said, we have taken note of the changes that have been made by the President at Permanent Secretary level, particularly, of course, at the Ministry of Health. We do note that the PS for administration there has been dismissed, which of course is something that we were calling for in the wake of the HONEYBEE scandal. But I think from our point of view, we hope that the dismissal of the PS, and also noting that the minister there also was dismissed a few weeks ago, we hope that that will not be the end of action being taken in response to the issues that emerged with regard to the HONEYBEE issue. Our thinking is that the issues which are at play at the Ministry of Health go beyond account individuals, they are systemic in nature. And so even in terms of your response, you have to respond in a manner that actually addresses the systemic weaknesses and the systemic issues that have allowed the rot that has been happening at the Ministry of Health to take root. So our hope is that this will not be the end of things in terms of taking action in response to some of the issues that we have seen at the ministry. And in that sense, we are also hoping that the firing of the PS itself will also not be the end of punitive action for her personally. We are hoping that if she was implicated in any way, or if she is culpable in any way concerning any of what transpired with regard to the HONEYBEE scandal, then she should be made to account for her deeds. And if that means a prosecution, then that is the direction that we should take.
Zambia has recorded 10 deaths associated to COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. The cumulative number of deaths has now reached 804. The country has further recorded 1,256 new positive cases out of 10,730 tests done. The country's total COVID-19 cases now stand at 939,514. Meanwhile, 435 patients are currently hospitalized, while 5,771 are currently under community management. Aspiring candidate for LUSAKA Central Constituency yesterday afternoon handed over black chalkboards at Prince Takamado School in Bauleni compound to be fitted in 7 classrooms. The school becomes one of the many beneficiaries of the charity Chanda Lumba Foundation's activities in Lusaka Central Constituency. Ms. Lumba pledged to continue working with the school management, and speaking on behalf of the school head teacher, Prince Takamado Deputy Head Teacher Mr. Mobita thanked the foundation for coming to their aid at short notice. Mr. Mobita further asked the foundation to assist the school with more desks. Meanwhile, Prince Takamado PTA Chairman Mr. Mwaba thanked CCLF on behalf of the Bauleni community for the unwavering support that was provided.
It's important that we realize that education is very critical, especially for our children. And the earlier we catch them, the better. And for me, education is not just about learning, it's about also the teaching. And so the tools of teaching are so important. And if there's any way that the foundation, the charity Chanda Lumba Foundation can support that, we will gladly do so. So I'm very happy that we came to give the blackboards. And I think what's also very important is that as you are using these tools, they're able to generate the right impact in the people and to teach them a lot about diversity. I think it's important because we are a very diverse society, to teach them about civility, because now we understand the tolerance of issues, we need to handle it as one another. And also with this diversity of views, we are approaching a very interesting time with the elections. So children must be taught one in class about tolerance and forbearance, about patience, about civility, about acapella, teaching each other to treat each other with human kindness. So I'm very happy to support such an initiative. And so on behalf of the foundation, I would like to hand over the blackboards, which were always there in the first place.
Energy Minister Matthew Nkoa says the journey to amend the Rural Electrification Act No. 20 of 2003 has not been easy, especially with the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has challenged the operations of the public utility, affecting its productivity. Speaking during the submissions of the report on the stakeholders' consultative engagement for the review of the Rural Electrification Bill, Mr. Nkoa disclosed that the report, which reflects the views of various stakeholders, will contribute to the development of the Rural Electrification Bill. He says the development of the Rural Electrification Bill will be presented to Cabinet and the National Assembly for consideration. The minister has also indicated that it is government's vision to provide electricity for the people that live in rural areas. Here's the reason why the policy and strategy refinement is priority for them.
I must commend government and its institutions for continuing to pursue their objectives in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic. Members of staff from the Ministry of Energy, Rural Electrification Authority, Zambia Rural Development Commission, and various non-governmental organizations whilst observing the health guidelines on COVID-19. We have gone across the country to every province to obtain comments and recommendations from members of the public. Their efforts have resulted into a report prepared on their behalf by the Zambia Rural Development Commission. The report, which reflects the views of various stakeholders, will contribute to a large extent to the development of the rural education bill. Once developed, the rural education bill shall be presented to Cabinet and the National Assembly for consideration. I want to congratulate and thank the members of staff from all institutions involved in this endeavor and remind them to continue serving their institutions to due diligence and integrity.
Meanwhile, RIA Board Chairperson Johnston Chikwanda says the proposed amendment of the Act is a timely response to the changing technology, climate impact and evolving corporate governance. This was said during a Zoom meeting.
As a newly appointed board, we know that in November 2003, Parliament passed the Rural Electrification Act number 20 of 2003, which became effective in April 2004. This, therefore, means that the Act, which outlines key functions and the overall mandate of the authority, has been in existence for close to 17 years. Honorable Minister, I must state that as a board, we have had to familiarize ourselves with the current Act and other institutional policy and strategy documents. And quite clearly, there is a visible requirement to address the gaps that have been identified through the review process that has just been concluded. Although we have not been part of the amendment process of the Rural Electrification Act from its inception, it is our honor to be taking part in its final steps. We believe that the proposed amendment of the Act is a timely response to the changing technology, climate impact, and evolving corporate governance.
In other news, Zambia has recorded an increase in gender-based violence cases by at least 1,000 in 2020 compared to 2019. Police Service annual statistics indicate that 26,370 cases of gender-based violence were reported countrywide during the year 2020, compared to 2019, in which 25,121 cases were reported. The 2020 gender-based violence disaggregated data indicates that 6,415 juvenile victims were abused countrywide, representing 24% of all the victims of gender-based violence. Out of the 6,415 children, 4,866 were female, while 1,549 were male juveniles. 14,875 female adults and 5,080 male adults were abused countrywide, representing 56% and 19% respectively. Meanwhile, the 2020 annual crime statistics report indicates that a total number of 15,092 victims and 7,239 offenders were cancelled by victim support unit officers countrywide. You're watching Camnet News. Just now, we take our second set of commercials. Join me shortly for international and sports news. Don't go away.
Take control of your tax planning. Avoid penalties and interest. Reduce Returns and payments due by the 10th of the month for declarations of the previous month's transactions are pay as you earn and skills development levy. Returns and payments due by the 14th of the month are turnover tax, withholding tax, mineral royalty tax, tourism levy, gaming and baiting, presumptive tax. Returns and payments for all withholding VAT agents is the 16th of the month. Returns and payments for all VAT registered suppliers is the 18th of the month. Submit the returns and make payments on or before the respective due dates to avoid penalties on the late submission of returns and payments of taxes. Further, note that VAT tax invoices for all business-to-business and business-to-government transactions must bear the tip-in of the buyer without fail. Zambia Revenue Authority. My tax, your tax, our destiny.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
2021 is finally here. Zambia is at the crossroads heading towards general elections this August. In the world where fake news, biased reporting on national issues has become the order of the day, in a world where social media in most cases spills lies and exaggerated information, insightful coverage, Zambia needs one media. Living in a country where people are slowly promoting tribalism, hatred, bitterness and revenge, political temperature is heating up and people's hearts are perplexed. Zambia needs one media. Zambia being a Christian nation living under the lordship of Jesus Christ, the nation cannot afford a compromised gospel. Zambia needs a prophetic media house. For hope, peace and unity, Zambia needs Camnet television for non-biased, factual reporting, balanced opinion, accurate news coverage. Zambia needs Camnet television for national projects and development of our beloved country Zambia. Watch Camnet TV on channel 274 DSTV, channel 98 on Go TV, and channel 106 on Topstar. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Welcome back. In international news, Workers' Union in Mpumalanga, South Africa, say it will keep a close eye on the COVID-19 vaccination rollout process in the province. The Workers' Union say it wants to avoid wastage and corruption. The Provincial Health Department is expected to receive over 30,000 doses of the vaccine by next week. Healthcare workers will be inoculated at 26 hospitals across the country. In other news, U.S. President Joe Biden is facing delays in his push to get children back to school in his first 100 years. In Chicago, some 62,000 students and 10,000 teachers were expected to return to classroom on Monday, but that has been stalled after heated negotiations on COVID-19 safety measures as many teachers wait to be vaccinated. Here's a roundup of international stories.
The wait is finally over. Healthcare workers will be vaccinated in a matter of weeks, while they're happy to be inoculated. There are some concerns.
We are quite happy as an association that the vaccine is finally here, which we believe that it will reduce the number of deaths among the healthcare professionals and mostly for the community, so that us as healthcare professionals, we don't spread the virus to the patient. There is some anxiety and fear from other healthcare professionals. We are still waiting for the government in Mpumalanga to tell us how will they distribute it around us healthcare professionals in Mpumalanga.
Nehau is hopeful. but has warned the government to avoid wastage.
We have been reassured that before the end of next week, this vaccine will arrive here, and we will work side by side with them to monitor that there is no wastage in a form of corruption or theft or spillage, because that can also disadvantage members of the society. That can also disadvantage members of NEHAU.
The province has recorded over 65,000 COVID-19 cases and 997 deaths. Active cases are currently standing at over 3,400. The department is confident that it's ready to start the vaccination drive.
We've already identified all our healthcare workers, both in the private and also in public. And for the public healthcare workers, we are going to distribute for now 30,500, of which in terms of the storage, in terms of the distribution and also training, those that are going to assist in terms of vaccination, we can say that as a province we are ready and we are going to continue to.
On the streets, opinions are divided. I support the vaccination process so the country can heal. This COVID-19 was going to wipe out the country. Even though there's skepticism, I support it.
The vaccine, if it works for them. But my opinion is, why must we be forced, or as you said,
the department has raised concerns about the increasing number of COVID-19 cases in Mbombela, Emalahleni, Nkomazi and Bushbuck Ridge municipalities.
As Chicago demands teachers go back to school, teachers like Tammy Vinson fear their classrooms could become super-spreading incubators for COVID-19.
A lot of kids could be asymptomatic. So I could have it, and I can go to school and inadvertently pass it on to a student. They in turn could go home and pass it on to their grandmother or their medically fragile aunt or uncle or their parents. So yeah, absolutely a concern.
One person who wants teachers back in class is President Joe Biden.
The president wants to not only reopen schools, he wants the schools to stay open.
Another is Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who has threatened a virtual lockout that would bar teachers from access to the online instruction they've been using. She says the kids deserve better.
Particularly our black and brown kids are falling behind.
In Las Vegas, the superintendent of Clark County Schools says 19 students have committed suicide since virtual schooling began in March.
I think the isolation, I think the kids reaching out, they don't have a vehicle in school right now.
In Washington State, high school junior Lily Villa says the end of in-person classes has driven up her anxiety.
I'd always have someone physically next to me. Now I'm just with my cat in my room.
One issue in Chicago and elsewhere is that teachers, for the most part, want to receive their vaccinations before they come back. But for many, it could be weeks or even months before they receive their doses.
Ready? I am so ready.
Even after they do, no one knows what normal will look like.
I don't know if the desire to get back to what was pre-pandemic is reasonable, because I don't think it's going to happen.
A once-in-a-century shock to the education system, she says, might leave lingering consequences.
We'll go straight into sports news. Lusaka Dynamos have beaten Green Eagles by 2-1 in the FAS MTN Super Division rescheduled fixtures. Tadi Etikiyama and Derek Wolaya scored the Power Dynamos, while Warren Kunda netted the only goal for Green Eagles. Meanwhile, the match between Quito United and Napsa Stars ended scoreless. Still in sports news, England will host games against Austria and Romania in June in preparation for the rearranged Euro 2020. The fixtures were originally due to take place last summer, but were postponed along with the tournament itself amid the coronavirus pandemic. Austria will visit on Wednesday, 2nd of June, with Romania set for Sunday, 6th of June. Venues are yet to be confirmed, but neither games will take place at Wembley, which UEFA will be preparing to host matches in the finals. Well, that's where we wrap it up for our news tonight. But before we go, let's just look at what made headlines on our desk. The Zambia Bureau of Standards maintains HONEYBEE condoms and gloves with substandard. 2 of HAKAINDE HICHILEMA'S aides transferred to MANSA for possible court appearance. DPP urged to quicken investigations on the report involving the killings of 2 citizens. And in international news, Workers' Union in South Africa vowed to keep an eye on the COVID-19 vaccination rollout. In sports news, LUSAKA DYNAMOS beats Green Eagles by 2-1. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, and it's coming from Matthew 28, verse 19, and it reads, "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptize them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit." That's where we wrap it up tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. Remember to always keep safe, maintain social distancing, and sanitize your hands as possible as you can. Good night.